We take the step out on our yes and watch. Only when we step out does the bridge begin to appear.
Derek is a powerful healer and soul restorer.
Your wings are big enough to hold everyone in them.
He just goes right to the core of whatever is your challenges and helps you rise above it.
More wealth, more health, more vitality, more of life.
You work with people in such a genuine, heartfelt way.
The energy that really empowered me is love, but when you see it getting back from somebody like him, there's no limit.
So that each and every one of us become the pure, clear channels of that divine destiny of greatness, so that we live a legendary life and leave a lasting legacy.
Derek is a teacher for whose time has come.
Hey there, Derek Rydell here, founder of the Law of Emergence and author of the best-selling books Emergence and The Abundance Project, and now this Awaken Wealth Mastery system that has helped thousands of people turn their lives around, generating millions of dollars, eliminating tons of debt, going from bankruptcy to more business than they could handle, launching their businesses, filling their practices with clients, getting their dream homes, really just creating a life of abundance in every area, including health and love and fulfillment of deep purpose. And this is the exact same process that took me from being broke and broken, literally suicidal, living on mac and cheese in a one-room apartment, to more abundance than I ever imagined. In fact, very quickly after this breakthrough happened, this transmission happened, as I've been talking about recently, within a few days after it, I made more than I'd ever made in a year in 2 days. And within a couple years from then, maybe less, I was literally financially independent decades sooner than I ever imagined. It helped me to sell multiple books, movie deals, homes, world travel, create a beautiful community of hundreds of thousands of coaches and authors and creators and entrepreneurs. It's just allowed so much magic to come into my life. And it's also helped me to, really get through some of the most difficult things a human being can go through. Some of the greatest challenges, from a divorce after 20 some years, to having a fortune stolen from me, to the heartbreaking and unimaginable loss of my child. And despite those challenges and the intensity of them, as I understood how to apply this work, when my heart was broken open, I was able to expand in my capacity for love, for joy, for creativity and inspiration. When my fortune was stolen from me, I was able to rebuild it bigger and better than ever before. After going through the heartbreaking breakup of a long-term relationship, I was able to use this to activate so much more love and self-love and forgiveness, that what I manifested in my life was a love of a lifetime, a relationship beyond what I even thought was possible. And so this is really not just about making more money. This process has been and is about creating true and lasting abundance in every area of your life, no matter what challenges you've been through, no matter what challenges you're facing. And believe me, there's a lot of big challenges coming down the pike here. So there couldn't be a more important and potent time for you to be learning about this. So this is very exciting time to be alive. But again, there's so many challenges going on and so many more coming along with the technological revolution, that you're going to need to deepen your capacity for creating the life that you want, regardless of conditions, probably now more than ever. Now, if you've been watching the videos and reading the book so far, you know that this has been quite a ride. And it's been a real honor and a joy to be sharing this with you, sharing these deep principles that I've spent really over 2 decades researching, experimenting with in the laboratory of my own life, as I've already described, and with tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people around the world, and coaching millionaires and billionaires and media moguls and Academy and Emmy winning people just across the spectrum, as well as I said, tens of thousands of entrepreneurs and coaches and healers and teachers and parents, from across the spectrum. I've really been able to distill this almost 25 years of understanding and research into a very simple step-by-step process and practice for generating results, real-world results. I've even studied many of the greatest success stories in history, many of the greatest change makers and thought leaders in history and in every domain. And I found that the same principles apply. When you understand them and you know how to apply them in the right sequence, you get the results. Just like planting a seed and knowing how to cultivate the right conditions that are congruent with the pattern in the seed, that seed must begin to flower and flourish. Just like wiring your house. If you wire the wires according to a plan, to a blueprint, to the laws and principles of electroconductivity, you'll get light and you'll get electricity. If you don't understand it, you'll get nothing, or worse, you'll get electrocuted or burn your house down. So it is about understanding the core principles of creating wealth and abundance and success in every area, and understanding what is the blueprint and the step-by-step proper sequence. And that's what I spent the last 25 years figuring out and proving again and again and again through, again, as I said, economic dire situations, job loss, near bankruptcy, for myself and for many, many people around the world. I've proven it doesn't matter what the condition is. It doesn't matter who you are or where you've come from. When you understand how to apply the principle, it works. It's not personal. It's a principle. Even if you've been sinking all your life because you didn't understand the law of buoyancy, as soon as you learn how to align your body in the water, the law of buoyancy must hold you up. You must float. It can't say to you, I'm sorry you come from this kind of a background or gender or culture, or you've had so many problems, it's going to take a long time for me to float you, right? For me to float your boat. No, as soon as you understand the principle and you know how to align with it properly, it works. And again, I've had hundreds and hundreds of testimonials, millions and millions of dollars people have generated, eliminating tons of debt, buying their dream houses, selling houses, launching dream careers, filling their practices, healing their marriages, even healing their bodies. They've experienced multiple breakthroughs where what abundance would mean for them, what true wealth and fulfillment would mean for them, is what blossomed and manifested in their life. Just like you can water and feed 3 different kinds of seeds, and if they all flourish and flower, those flowers are going to look different. And so yours may not look like everybody else's, but when you apply these principles and these practices in the right sequence, your life flowers. And I'm telling you what I know for sure. I mean, here are some of the examples of people. This is Rose Marie. She says, I've been manifesting wealth to the max in all areas. Since starting Awaken Wealth, I have realized amazing growth in my business, and it's still growing. My head is spinning. Or Yoseline. She says, at the beginning of the program, I wrote, get a job in my 25 ways to manifest more. 3 days later, I got a call for an interview and they offered me top salary. I tripled my salary. 40-day money miracle goal attained. I am elated. Thank you, Derek, for this wonderful program. This is Joanne Kropp. Our clinic is full of clients now. I've had an epiphany on how to go forward in this business. I feel calmer inside and more confident. I'm resolving inner issues. I got back into yoga after 3 years. I will be debt-free by Christmas. I have people coming out of the woodwork offering me help without me needing to ask. This course has been so worth it. This is John McMillan. Derek's works have indeed come as a pinnacle of all the work I've done. The master unlocker. My landscaping business has never been busier. 8 weeks ago, I started applying the work and voila. And this is Terry Marie. Within the past 2 weeks, I've received a refund check back from a debt collector. A miracle, she says. I've seen money in my account that was not there before. I'm about to head to New York to see friends, family, and refresh. I'll have work in my profession while I'm there in an all-natural, healthy, and positive way. And she goes on to say, I earned more in a month than I've ever earned in a year. So here's one more. After years of being on the verge of losing everything, struggling with low self-esteem and low self-worth, I opted to work with Derek, and I had 3 new clients and sold my first property in 3 years. The performance anxiety I struggled with most of my adult life and intensely the last 10 years is gone. And my time with Derek has paid for itself, as she says. So I could go on and on and on. I just want you to understand there's many different ways wealth and abundance and success shows up depending on what you need. And the wealth principles and practices in this program help you to do that. So I hope you're feeling the power of this. I hope you're seeing the possibilities in it. And if you've been practicing some of the things that I've been teaching over the last several days, you might have already experienced some of the benefits of it. I've already heard of amazing results from many people, right? Already people are having debt eliminated. They're having big shifts moving. I mean, there's many, many revelations. You know, people that were struggling, that were in mental and emotional pain, that are out of pain now and already feel the possibilities and have a vision for their life. And we haven't barely even gotten started. So maybe you're still struggling, and that's fine. Maybe you aren't sure if this can work for you. I understand. You've probably heard a lot of things. There's a lot of stuff out there. Most of it is people selling you their blueprint for how they got successful in a particular area, but it rarely is principle-based so that it can work for anyone. And it's hard to trust. And maybe you've tried things and you weren't able to finish them. So there's a lot of doubt that you can actually get results. You're hitting what are called thresholds: overwhelm, doubt, fear, shiny object syndrome. And you've been doing all kinds of work maybe, and it just feels like there's a pressure that's built up, but you've barely gotten any results. Kind of like the analogy I used earlier in these trainings I've been sharing with you, where it's like a hose that it gets all kinked up, right? You know, like a garden hose. And you keep turning up the water, and just you get nothing but a dribble because it's got all these kinks in it. But when people get into this work and learn how to apply it and learn how to do it in the right sequence and get into this field, it begins to unkink that hose. It begins to unkink those channels, and all of that you've deposited in your escrow account, so to speak, you suddenly get access to it. And that hose gets unkinked, and it's like a gusher of opportunity, possibility, inspiration, abundance that flows. People that join within a few days, often they have big breakthroughs. They have people calling them out of the blue, forgiving debt, paying them back money they owed them. The husband comes home or the wife, and suddenly he's got a promotion at work. I mean, this is the things that I hear all the time. So and what's happening is that there's all of this abundance already in you. It's there. It's already been given to you. And you've activated a lot of it through all of your prayers and affirmations and work you've done. But the hose is kinked. There's unconscious patterns, shadows, values conflicts. There's hypnotic wealth spells that are mesmerizing you into believing you're separate from your good, that are tempting you to believe you're not enough, you don't have enough, whether it's time or money or energy or health or support. That's all a lie. I know it may look that way, and it certainly may feel that way, but it's a lie. The truth is, everything you need to be all that you are meant to be and more than you can imagine has already been given to you, and it's all right here. Like your favorite song is playing right here, but you can't hear it unless you're tuned in to the station frequency where that music is playing. And then what happens? That station becomes manifest. You have a manifestation. Where was that music before? It was always right here. Your wealth is here. Your joy, your peace, your fulfillment, it's here. But you have to know how to tune in. You have to know how to come into alignment and how to let go of the beliefs and the internal conflicts and often the unconscious habits built on those false beliefs that are kinking your hose, keeping it kinked, blocking your channel, keeping it blocked, no matter what you do or what you try. Like I said, it's like you just keep turning up the pressure on the hose. What eventually happens? It springs leaks. And then it's even worse. And maybe right now you already feel like your life has sprung a leak. And so I'm going to show you how to patch that up, how to unkink those channels, unkink that hose, and really get access to and activate the circulation of abundance into every area of your life like never before. So wherever you are in this journey, whether you're just learning it, digesting it, being educated, informed, inspired, hopefully, maybe even beginning to take baby steps, I want you to understand already you're a winner. You're already at a higher percentile than most people. Most people don't move towards their dreams and visions. Most people don't do much of anything about the biggest problems and the biggest desires in their life. And most people, if they start even paying attention to this kind of work, they don't make it this far. If you're still watching or listening, you are already in the top percentile of most people. So you should be proud of that. And it already means there's a circulation going and there's great potential brimming. And you just need to go that extra mile. You just need to know that extra, those last few steps of how to put it in the right sequence to open out a way for this imprisoned splendor to escape. But the key is you have more of a backbone than a wishbone because you're taking action, right? Whereas again, most people don't. So we've covered a lot on this journey, and I know I'm kind of recapping some of the big ideas here. And I hope you've been getting a lot of value from it. Whatever you decide to do, whether you stop today and never go on, I hope that you're feeling you're having some insights and some breakthroughs. But I would love to share with you, if you'll let me, what is the path to really unlimited abundance? How can you not just have some inspiration and some insights that light you up for the day or the week or the month, get you doing a few things here and there, like after you leave a workshop and you feel like your life has changed forever, and then a month later you're back to where you were? Why is that? It's because it's not enough to have the insight or the inspiration. You must know how to design a new way of life. It doesn't have to be radical, but it has to be different. Would you agree with me? You can't live the same life, have the same basic patterns and beliefs, and just do a few different things and think you've changed much permanently. That's like moving deck chairs around on the Titanic. You have to fundamentally change something, or you're just going to get the same thing. If you have a new you, you can never have a new year. And again, it's not about radically changing everything. You're not going to have to shave your head or, go crazy. But it's about how do you design a new life that is more congruent to the vision that you want to create, that is more in alignment and in integrity to the person you really want to be, the person you really are, and to the life of abundance. Like here's just a quick little hack and a quick example. If you added a 0 to your current income, considering you make something, who would you be? How would you act differently? What would you start doing? What would you stop doing? I can tell you, your life would not be the same. If you were that person making that amount of money, or if you're in a relationship, or if you're not in a relationship and you were suddenly in the love of your life relationship, what would be your habits on a day-to-day basis? How would you treat yourself? How would you treat others? What would you start doing? What would you stop doing? What conversations would you start having? What conversations would you stop having? As you take on that thought experiment, you can see there's a gap. You would not be the same person, right? And so you have to become different. You have to design a life that is congruent with the life you want, not the life you have or the life you've had. And you have to design the inner habits that are a match for that. And I am a master at helping you do that. As I said, I could not have survived. I couldn't have gone from broke and suicidal to financially independent and living my purpose and having a beautiful dream home in a couple of years. I couldn't have made it through tragedy and great loss of fortunes and calamities and crises if I did not know how to build the internal machine, the internal habits that would absolutely make it ultimately inevitable that I would grow and heal and achieve and succeed, that I would grow out of the limitation and be able to rebuild, renew, and even resurrect my life in many ways and help many, many people do it. That doesn't happen just from a weekend. That doesn't happen just from an insight or an inspiration or just you go make a couple changes. Again, it doesn't mean it has to be radical. It just has to be specific, consistent for a long enough period to lock in this new pattern. And that's what we're going to do over the next 8 weeks. And I'm going to get into that a little more specifically. But I just want you to understand, if you want real and lasting results, you cannot get it piecemeal. You cannot get it just by showing up on a call here and there or reading a book or a part of a book here and there. Believe me, I tried for 25 years. And I've seen the people that have tried this, tens and tens of thousands of people. It's not enough. And if you really want to lay the foundation for long-term success and fulfillment. I know you might be exhausted and overwhelmed and even burned out. I get it. I've been on the ground in a puddle. I get it. And still, there's a way to pick yourself back up. There's a way to turn on that system again and become a master of manifestation in your life, to become a master of the energy of wealth and abundance, to live a life of vision and purpose and rebuild and renew like bigger and better than ever before. I am telling you what I know, like I know my own name. And if you want that, I can show you how to do that, guaranteed. Step by simple step. That's why I created this program. That's why I distilled and decoded 25 years of my own research and literally hundreds of years of the greatest success stories in history into this simple, step-by-step, sequential program and process, okay? So just imagine for a minute, if you could look back on this moment a year from now and see that you've actually been able to turn your life around. You've actually been able to manifest more than you had before. You've actually maybe begun to live your life's work or create more wealth in your life. Be able to not have to say, I can't afford it anymore. Would that be worth it? What would that be worth? If you never had to say, I can't afford it, what would that be worth? If you could look back and really realize you've ended your fear and your self-worth issues around asking for what you want and charging what you're worth, what would that be worth? Would it be worth going through this process for a couple months? If you could just start, again, making a living, period, or making a living doing what you love. Or for some of you, maybe it's just making a little extra to afford a vacation. Would that be worth it? And what would that be worth? Because once you have that principle, once you lock in that new practice or habit, it becomes like its own little machine that is continuing to generate more abundance in your life, literally to put your growth and success on autopilot. What would that be worth? And you know, I read some of those testimonials. They've done all of those things and many more. And they're not special. I've worked, again, with millionaires and billionaires and media moguls and tens of thousands of people from around the world, from every background and many of the challenges that I've talked about. You're not less special or more special than them. The principle is the principle. So if you hear the self-talk going, well, yeah, maybe they could because, but if you only knew my story, Derek, I know your story, okay? It's not that different, even if it's really, really hard. And I'm not downplaying it, okay? But just what would it be worth if you could finally take your life to that next level and be doing work you love and making a living and being able to afford the things that matter to you, being able to engage in and develop rich and abundant relationships, maybe greater health in your body, an abundance in every area of your life. It doesn't mean you have to be on the cover of a magazine or be a millionaire. It's what abundance is for you, just even that next level, right? Because I guarantee you, if you practice and go through this process, that is 100% available to you. Obviously, you have to show up and you have to let me support you. But the principles and the practice in the right sequence is all here. So let me just jump into this for a moment to give you more specifics. You know, this Awaken Wealth Mastery program, this edition really is a totally upgraded version of what's come before. And again, it's the product of over 20, probably closer to 25 years of research and development and my work with thousands of people around the world, including millionaires and billionaires and moguls and titans of industry. So from the highest to the so-called lowest, practicing and proving through trial and error what works, when it works, why doesn't it work, when it doesn't work, which is just as important, so that it becomes reliable and proven, okay, to get real world results. And so let me just jump into more specifically what you're going to get. And the first piece in this is the entire module system, really, that you can listen to and deepen again and again and again for the rest of your life. I teach this stuff so I can go through it again. Just little secret, right? So you're going to get the full 5 in-depth module training where you're going to learn how to master all of these, and specifically the 7 wealth activators, the 7 channels of manifestation, which is going to allow you to open every one of those channels, keep them open, and keep expanding them so that you can manifest more increasingly, even in the face of limitation. So that, and even seemingly out of thin air, right? People have often reported how miraculous this work seems because you really do have the ability to create out of nothing. The same way the universe does, by the way. The same way the universe did, by the way. The Big Bang. There was nothing and then there was everything. Well, that's the same way you're designed to create. Do you get this? Like, I feel like I just want to launch into another, like a sermon about just that. You were designed to create everything out of nothing. Now, that doesn't mean you don't move things around in the world as needed, that you don't do things in the world, but you are the source of infinite, inexhaustible abundance, the substance of all creation. This is the teaching of the ages. You're the source, not your job, not your boss, not your parents, not your partner, not the economy, you. And when you learn how to tap back into that and open all these channels, and in very practical, logical, rational ways, start fine-tuning this system and start turning on this inner wealth creating machine, you will experience things magically appearing, things miraculously unfolding. But it's really not magic or a miracle when you understand how it really works. It's just the way you were designed, right? How does out of a little seed, a massive tree emerge, and all the fruit and the flowers and the potential for infinite more trees out of seeming nothing? That's what I'm going to show you how to do. That's why it doesn't matter what situation you've been in. That's why it doesn't matter what's in your bank account, your business, your body, or your past. That's why it doesn't matter what's going on in the world. That's how I was able to grow and heal and restore and rebuild out of even most dire of seeming dark nights and tragedies, and help many other people do the same. Or just take your life or your work to the next level. I don't want to be so overly dramatic here, right? But you're going to get all of that. Step by step by step, how to open and build these channels, become a master of manifestation. You're also going to learn how to snap out of those 5 core hypnotic wealth spells and how to uncover and integrate the wealth shadows. Things like I'm not enough, unworthlessness, selfishness, greedy, needy, many of the things, again, I talked about during this training period, but we're going to get into that step by step so you can release this unconscious programming that has been silently sabotaging your life for so long. And these hypnotic spells that have put us all in a matrix, but you can break out of that matrix. And it's going to get worse, folks. The hypnotic spells are going to get worse. Can you say deep fakes, AI, technology, revolution, social political unrest, social media? Like, we are bombarded. And if you don't find a way to snap out of these hypnotic spells, not just some conspiracy theory that's really just another matrix, but to wake up to perennial truths, the truth about wealth, the true nature and source of wealth, the truth about you, your true power and potential, no matter what you look like or what anybody says about you. When you learn to snap out of those and escape the matrix of lack, limitation, and control that this world puts on you, again, you will not only break out of your limitation and lack and be able to create like a master of manifestation, you'll become a leader in your life, whether it's just in your family or your friends or even beyond. That's what a true leader is. They're called thought leaders because they're not following the world's thoughts. They're being led by a deeper or a higher realm of thinking. That's what's going to be possible for you when you break out of these hypnotic wealth spells. So you're going to get all of this. You can say I'm excited, right? I'm like already launching into wanting to just teach it all to you. But I want you to understand the gravity and the depth and the comprehensiveness of this program. This is not just some get-rich-quick thing. That's an oxymoron. You cannot get rich. You cannot get what you already have. All of the wealth and the riches you already have. But you have to get access to it, and you have to find a way to get it out. You have to find a way to circulate it, to become that channel, a mastery of this energy of flow and circulation. There's a reason why wealth is called currency. It's the current you see. And it's current, not past, not future. It's now. When you can see the wealth that you have and that you are now, when you can see the opportunity all around you now, it becomes currency, all right? I'm here all weekend, folks. So that's the possibility here, right? When you really understand the comprehensiveness of this process, and ultimately when you see the simplicity of it. So I touched upon this, but we're going to go much deeper. You're also going to get, as part of this, 3 weeks of integration workshops, 3 integration workshops on top of this 5-module program that is going to allow you to really master the process of charging what you're worth step by step, asking for what you really want and need without regret, without shame, without blame, without guilt. I know a lot of you heart-centered, spiritually inclined people out there. It's hard for you to charge. It's hard for you to ask. It's hard for you to receive, right? No more. Not after this. You're going to become a master at that. Or at least you're going to be taking real steps on the master path and be watching the changes and the shifts in your life. So you're going to get that. You're going to get, spring cleaning all your limited beliefs, specifically a workshop on how to master manifestation. It's just going to be a very comprehensive, jam-packed 8 weeks together. I hope you can feel the value in that, and you can feel the inspiration and even feel the shift as I'm talking that is possible for you. You're also going to get a private mastermind, so you'll get support 24/7 from me and from other people, and you're going to be able to ask questions and interact and engage and get support. And you're going to, in addition to that, you're going to get daily quantum healing work from me. Now, I won't go into all the details. Many of you are energy workers or understand energy healing. This doesn't force you to do anything. It doesn't operate on you. It operates in the field, and you are a part of this field. You're a field within the field. And so it's a term of quantum entanglement, right? There's an ancient teaching, as I am lifted up, I draw all unto me. Well, that's quantum entanglement. So as I go into the field and I do this quantum healing work, I'm raising the vibration, I'm raising the frequency. This is not woo-woo anymore, by the way. This is shown that you can raise the frequency and vibration in the field, and when you do, people change. Plants blossom, and you can lower the vibration, and plants die, and people get depressed, or crime goes up or down, depending on how much of a field of an attractor pattern is being generated. So we're not only going to be generating that together, but I'm going to be doing specific work for you so that you will feel this uplift. You will find yourself having more energy, more focus. Sometimes you'll have to move through some challenging moments as you release and detoxify, but this will accelerate the detoxification process. I found this to really help people do what is one of the most important things. Because if you don't get through the program, what's the point of it? How good it is. But this helps you to actually do the work. It helps you to stay the course. It helps you to move through those thresholds I talked about: fear, doubt, worry, overwhelm, burnout, etc. So that you're going to get that support from me every single day, as well as the support in the mastermind, the support in the live calls with me personally coaching you every single week. And in addition to that, you're also going to get the entire Prosperity Playground, where you're going to get live transmissions and activations and meditations every day of the week, 5 days a week, for the entire 8 weeks. Where you're going to get support from one of my master teachers and mentors and true just best friends in the world, who's a master teacher and shaman and healer. And you're going to get that every day of the week, so that you're never alone, you're never on your own. You're going to have the opportunity to tap in and tune in and turn on this wealth machine and this success machine and this inspiration every single day. And then show up to the live calls with me, get deep dive coaching and activation, training, all of your questions answered, how to take the next step and the next step. Go into the mastermind as needed, get support from each other, share your journey, get accountability partners. And I'm going to be doing this quantum healing work every day throughout the whole thing, 7 days a week, uplifting you, reducing the lower frequencies, increasing the higher frequencies, helping to integrate these principles, helping you to have the energy and the focus to take it all the way through. People pay me up to $3,000 an hour to do this kind of work. You're getting that as part of the bonus for this program. Okay? So just take a breath. I know it's a lot, and I'm getting excited. I need to slow down probably. But I hope you can feel that this isn't just some simple little thing. I mean, it's simple in the process, but that there's tremendous thought that has gone into the creation of this. I've been working on this for many years, not just the research to understand it, but the work to master the protocol. Because I understand there's a reason why most people don't get results from books and programs. They get shelf help, right? They put it on their shelf and their shelf gets better, but they don't get better. And I know why. I understand the key thresholds. And I've designed this so that as you bump into those thresholds, I've got you, we've got you, and we've got each other. That's what these different layers of support are built in for. They're built in here so that you have everything you need to grow, to heal, and to succeed. Period. Guaranteed. And I'm going to show up and, as Jerry Maguire would say, help me to help you. I'm pouring my life into this. I'm pouring a quarter century of my life's work into this. Okay? So, if you already have enough and you know what to do, you can just click the button below. You can check out the page below. You can see all that's there. But let me just give you a little more specifics. I'm also going to give you an additional bonus, 5 total bonuses here. You're going to get an additional Ask Derek Anything mastermind support group for 60 days after this is done, so that this really sticks. Remember, this is not about just theory or inspiration or just education. It's about transformation. It's about you getting what you need in the right order, in the right repetition, with the right tools and practices to integrate it so it becomes embodied as a new habit, as a new way of life, as a new mindset. I'm going to instill and install, or help you to install, this new program of wealth, abundance, and success. And your life will never be the same. And it doesn't just work for a little while and wear off. Once it's installed, it continues to work, often expanding and getting stronger and better. So let me just much more simply break down what's in this program and give you a sense of the value of it and what's included. So you're going to get the entire Awaken Wealth Personal Success System, which alone has sold for nearly $2,000, $1,997, many, many, many times. You're going to get that entire system, right? Now, that alone, just those modules, has sold for $2,000 without the coaching live, without all the other bonuses, just so you have a real understanding of what I'm including here. You're also going to get the entire 8 weeks of coaching, 5 weeks of live coaching, 3 weeks of integration where there'll be some integrative workshops and then a deep dive integration workshop at the end to pull it all together. So 8 weeks total of live coaching and integration coaching and courses with me, again, personally. I'm not going to have one of my coaches coming in to teach the class. And that's also very rare to have it with the person that made the program, right? So again, I've worked with millionaires and billionaires and media moguls and get paid tens and tens of thousands of dollars a year to coach people privately. So this is a really important, that's why I'm pouring so much of my time and energy into this, because I don't provide this kind of access and this kind of content at this level of depth very often. In fact, this is the only time you can get this for the entire year. And often I've skipped a year. And so it could be 2 years. But you're going to get this entire Awaken Wealth system, has a value of $19.97. You're going to get the entire 8 weeks of live coaching and integration, has a value of about $15.97. You're going to get the 8 weeks of quantum healing from me, which again, people have paid thousands of dollars for. That has a minimum value of $9.97. You're going to get 2 months in the Prosperity Playground, 5 days a week, every week. What is that, like 40 times or something? I think I'm getting the math right. I mean, it's just tremendous value. which has a value of over $700. It's worth thousands of dollars, really. That's how much you'd have to pay my colleague if you were just hiring them to get that coaching. Okay, so you're going to get all of that. You're going to get a ticket to my 3-day live event, Live Your Life's Work, which I failed to mention in full depth before. But basically, that is 3 days where I'm going to help you discover how to live your life's work, how to uncover your life's work, how to turn it into an offering that is in integrity with you, how to launch it into the world and build a platform so you can make a living doing what you love and make the difference that you came here for. I mean, just that alone is worth the price of admission. That's a $997 value. And you're also going to get the Ask Derek Anything Mastermind to have some continued support with me even after the program is done, so I can really make sure you continue to do the work and get the results. So it's well over $6,500. It's close to $7,000 worth of value, maybe more. But I just want you to get a sense of what the value is here. But of course, even though none of this is filler, none of this is just some fluff. These are real programs and coaching that people have paid this much or more for. Thousands and thousands of dollars. I'm going to give all of that to you for free, except for just the basic foundational Awaken Wealth module system, which again, people have bought that for $2,000. So it's worth $2,000. I'm giving you everything in here for free, except for just that one piece. Just take a pause and think about that for a moment. All the coaching, all the healing, all the other bonuses, the live events, everything, all the live classes and calls for free. All you have to pay for is that basic program, which is normally $2,000. So just pause for a minute. It's going to get better, but just pause for a minute. If you could get the results and change your life permanently for a couple $1,000, would that be worth it? How much has it already cost you to not understand these things? How much missed opportunity? How much lost sleep? How much pain and struggle? How much is it going to cost you in the future, even in the next 6 to 12 months, if you don't master this process of creating and manifesting abundantly in every area of your life? But of course, you're not even going to pay the $2,000. I'm going to slash that all the way down to a third. So basically, you get everything for free except for that one foundational program. That's only going to be $697. So the entire Awaken Wealth package, 8 weeks of my live coaching, 8 weeks of deep dive healing, 8 weeks of transformational content, modules, integration workshops, all of it for $697. If you really do the math on it, it's like the cost of a Starbucks, and a scone or something like that every day, right? It's literally like a little over $10 a day. Think about that to transform your life. So please understand, most places, this kind of a package is at least $2,000. If you've been out there, I'm telling the truth. And often it's $2,500 or twice as much. And so this is really a special offer and opportunity that is not available. Once this ends, just that basic Awaken Wealth program is $2,000 again. And it doesn't come with all the live coaching, okay? And I'm on a mission, not just to help you make more money, but to help you become totally self-sustainable, totally resourced again, to help you be able to create the life of your dreams and be able to create and make a difference that you came for. And I see that most conflict comes because we think something or somebody outside of us is our source. And when we heal that, conflict begins to go away. When you really understand you and you alone are the source of everything you want in your life. Where's the conflict? Including the conflict with yourself. And so I'm on a big mission here to end conflict, to end suffering, starting with you, and then to allow individuals to have the abundance to manifest really the glory of life on earth, which we can't do as long as we think something or somebody outside of us is our source. So that's the bigger mission for me, and that's why I'm pretty much giving all of my coaching away for free here. Can you see that? Now, of course, you can also make payments on this. So it's not only just $697, but you can start today for just a very low payment and spread it out over several months. And you can get on the coaching call, dive into the modules, get the healing. And if after the first deep dive coaching call with all the coaching, even if I coach you personally and healing and go into the modules, if after that first coaching call within the next 48 hours, you're still not feeling the shift or not jazzed or don't think it's worth it, you get a total refund. You've got all of that to gain and absolutely nothing at stake. Okay, so I just want you to know there's zero risk for you to say yes to your yes. Zero. You can get in, you can start studying it, you can start being in the field and feeling the activation and the upliftment. You can get my coaching when we jump into the first deep dive coaching call. You can get my support, you can get my quantum healing, all of it. And if you're not completely jazzed after that, you can ask for a refund and you can get a total refund and keep whatever inside information, inspiration, or transformation you've got. That's how much I'm certain about this. That's how much I know it works if you'll let me support you. So just take a moment and really let it drop in that right here in front of you, if you're still listening and if you resonate, right here in front of you is something that has changed the lives of thousands of people just like you, and it absolutely, positively could change your life. Just take a moment, and there's zero risk to begin exploring it. What could you possibly say to not do it? And now I'm on your side here. I understand this, which I also talked about in a previous training. I'm not trying to sell you me. I'm not even trying to sell you awakened wealth. I'm trying to sell you you. You're the awakened wonder. You're the awakened wealth. You're the awakened wealth warrior. I'm selling you the truth about you, but I need a little time and attention with you to help you fully reclaim that. But if you can see, my excitement, my passion isn't about a program. My passion is about who you are, and that I want to show you and help you realize and awaken to it and manifest it. So if you want that for you, I'm just here trying to help you figure out a way to get it. And right now, as you sit with your resonance, and it's a yes, but maybe it's a yes, but I just want to go over a few of, help you understand what's coming up for you, what might be called resistance or objections, right? And there's different reasons. We feel the yes in our gut, but then we try to talk ourselves out with our head. Or sometimes we feel the yes in our gut and try to talk ourselves into it in our head. Or sometimes we feel a no in our gut and we try to talk ourselves into it. I don't want you to be a no right now and try to talk yourself into it. If you're a no, if you know absolutely this is not for you, first of all, I doubt you'd still be listening. But if for some reason you are one of those that just is listening for no good reason, then thank you for listening. And you can go and Godspeed. But if you're feeling a yes and it's followed by a but, my first thing is maybe you should get your butt out of your mouth because it's not really good yoga. I'm just kidding. I'm a cuckoo, right? So you have to first acknowledge, I want this. And that desire does not represent something outside that you need to get. It represents something inside that's trying to get out. It's telling you there's an attunement, right? If you strike a violin and microphone it on stage, all the violins in the orchestra pit will vibrate to that same note. So if I'm striking a note right now that's resonating in you, it's because the note is in you. But you still may need help to string your instrument properly, or add other strings, or learn how to tune it or play it so that you can finally make music all on your own. And that's what this is here to help you do. But if you feel the resonance, you already know your answer, but it still might be bumping into, well, I don't have the time, right? Or all kinds of logistics. When are all the classes? What if I can't make all the classes? What if I can't utilize all the bonuses? It's not even going to be worth it. Again, if you just got a little bit of this, and took your life to a new level, would that be worth it? And I've never ever had anybody tell me they didn't get more than enough. So if you think you're not going to get enough, believe me, you'll get everything you need and more. And you don't have to make every class live. You can listen to the replay, you can post your questions, I can answer them on the replay. You have my healing work, you have the modules you can work on, you have the accountability group and partner and mastermind group. There's all these layers, remember, built in. For whatever your excuse or rationalization, when you rationalize, you're just telling rational lies. So I built it in so that whatever is the thing that will stop you from saying yes to your yes, I can show you how that's a moot point. Again, not to sell you me, but to help you keep stepping out on that invisible bridge until the bridge appears beneath your feet, like in Indiana Jones, right? So if you feel the desire to do this, that's one of the first blocks, scheduling and logistics. And then I'm not going to have the time. And I have to say that if you're not manifesting the life you truly need and want to thrive, you don't have the time not to, right? As I said before, it's not just about what this program costs. It's what does it already cost you to not have this mastery, to keep saying I can't afford it, or to keep saying I don't have the time, or to keep saying I don't have the time to do the thing I want to do, or I'm not good enough or worthy enough or this or that enough to be who I want to be. What does that cost you? The time lack, the money lack, the self-worth lack, the belief lack. What does that cost you already? I can tell you it's cost you a heck of a lot more than whatever time you might put into this, and a heck of a lot more than whatever this might cost. I can also tell you it's going to cost you many, many multiples of that in the future. And I think you can see that's self-evident. It's going to cost you hundreds, if not thousands, tens of thousands, and maybe much more in dollars. It's going to cost you to waste uncountable hours. It's going to lose precious life and time to be who you really are and create the life you really desire. And now I'm not saying this program is the end all be all, but I know for a fact, and you saw in the testimonials, it can help you solve many of the things that are costing you time, money, health, well-being, and fulfillment. So what's it cost you to not master this? What's it going to cost you in the next 6 to 12 months? Now, does it seem more worth it? And what's it going to cost to make yourself a priority in terms of time and energy? And it doesn't have to be a ton of time. It just has to be a little bit consistently. What's it going to cost you to do that? You might need to move some things around. You might need to say to some people, I'm going to need to do some stuff for myself. So there's a little cost, but what's it going to cost you if you don't do that for yourself? You see, if you're starting to get what I'm doing with you here, this is the beginning of the flip that needs to happen because you've been hypnotized by this idea that you don't have enough freedom or time or money or energy or worth. And that's always been a lie. But it's produced experiences and conditions that reflect back to you to confirm the belief. It's a feedback loop. It's a matrix, and it's a lie. And the only way to break out of that matrix and begin to prove you have all the time, money, freedom, health, well-being, and power that you could ever need, you have to begin aligning with the yes. And as I've already described, design a way of life that turns on that inner wealth circulation machine and builds it as a new habit. And you will grow out of that matrix. You will break out of that matrix. I'm telling you what I know for sure. But you will never break out of it if you wait for the appearances to tell you you can. Because they never will. Because the appearances are coming from the programming that's in you. So you can't wait to have time, or you'll never have time. You have to make the time by valuing yourself, having a vision, and doing what I'm going to show you how to do. And time opens up. You can't wait till you have the money, which is the next big excuse. I don't have the money. There's no lack of resources, only a lack of resourcefulness. All the wealth and abundance that the universe needs to create a whole nother universe is right where you are. Your problem is not resources, it's resourcefulness. It's that you've forgotten you're the channel and the source, and you've forgotten how to resource it. I'm going to show you how. But even now, there's steps you could take that you don't think about taking. If you had to suddenly fix a terrible car to get to a terrible job and it was going to cost you $697 or whatever the first payment is, you would find a way to get that money or you'd lose your job. So you'd find a way. Or if your child needed to get medicine or something or an operation, or they would be really, really sick or worse, you wouldn't go, I'm sorry, I can't afford it. You would find a way. And I don't mean stealing or doing anything illegal. You would ask for help. You would get a loan. You would sell stuff. You would make it happen. Would you not? Well, why is that? Feel even the strength in you and the courage when you think about, if my loved one needed it, I would figure it out. Where did that come from? It came right from within you. But the irony is we will step in front of a train for a loved one, but often we won't step out of our own comfort zone for ourselves. Now is your moment to step out of your comfort zone, to step out of the matrix that's trying to fool you into thinking you're not enough and you don't have enough. And begin to walk across that invisible bridge, cross that chasm like in Indiana Jones, and prove there's a bridge beneath your feet, because there is. So fill out the registration button. Go below, fill it out, fill out everything. Do every step you can do. I didn't say every step that you feel comfortable doing. Every step you can take. Every single one of you can fill out the entire registration form. Every one of you. Even if you have not a penny in the bank. Even if your credit card is maxed out. Why is that important? Because most of you won't if you don't think you can afford it or have time. You won't even take the steps you can. And what I can tell you, and we'll get much more into it in the program, you're doing this everywhere in your life. You're stopping at the place of learned helplessness. Like the studies they've done where they've put a fish in a tank, put a clear plate beneath the fish, between the fish and its food, and the fish bumps into the clear plate, and eventually gives up. They remove the clear plate, the fish swims up to where the clear plate was, looks at their food, and swims back. Swims up to where the plate used to be, looks at their food, swims back, and starves to death. There was nothing actually in their way. They could have swam several more inches and gotten their food. But they didn't believe they could, so they did not take those extra steps. What I'm telling you is in every area of your life where you're stuck, where the abundance isn't there, or success hasn't happened yet, there are many steps you could take, but you're not. Because you're scared, you're in doubt, you don't think it's impossible, you see a wall where there's really a door. And that's happening right now if you're not filling out the registration form and taking all the steps you can. A new step will open up afterwards. You'll go, okay, now what do I do? Who can I talk to? Where can I get some support? Et cetera, et cetera. And this begins to open up. And when you make this transition, just this simple transition, it will change your whole life view in every area forever. I've watched many people go from, I can't afford it, to, oh my God, I just figured out a way to afford it. And they are just exploding with possibilities in their life because they see that they were lying to themselves. They were hypnotized. And now they're like, where else am I lying to myself? Where else am I believing a lie? And thinking I'm limited where I'm not. That's the power here. All right, so we're about to wrap this up. I just want to really make sure you understand these are all thresholds of the ego, trying to keep you the same or convince you you're changing when you're not. The ego is designed to keep us the same because to the ego, real change or growth is death. And so right now you're on the verge of real growth, real change, permanent change that will expand and transform your life for the better forever. But to that programming in your mind, it's danger. So it's bringing up doubt and fear and excuses and all the reasons why not, including I don't have the time or I can't afford it, or nothing's ever worked for me, why will this be different? There's many versions of these. And all I can tell you now is if you feel the resonance, that's your sign, that's your cue. To say yes to your yes, join us and try it out. And if after you've gotten in and done all the things I said, you still don't like it, or you still don't believe in it, or it doesn't feel like it's working, just let us know within 48 hours after that first deep dive coaching call, and you'll get a complete refund. Okay? So again, there's nothing to lose here. And I'm not trying to convince you, again, to do something. I'm trying to convince you of what's true about you and of what your inner resonance might be telling you, and also to see what might be stopping you from really how we are the only ones that get in our own way. And none of it's theoretical. This is how I talk to myself. This is how I've been able to grow and heal and rebuild again and again and again, because I understand these principles. And there isn't a thing I haven't said to you right now that I don't say to myself all the time, and that I don't say to all my coaching clients all the time, right? Whether there's anything on the line or not, this is just the truth. So I hope you'll take it for that. And again, whatever you do, I hope you feel tremendous value and you feel the potential for expansion in what we've been talking about today. And understand that what is on offer here is something that is proven, is something that has changed the lives of thousands just like you. And if you're willing to say yes to your yes, walk across that invisible bridge, take a few steps out of your comfort zone, and let me help you across the rest of the way, we really can take your life to the next level. You really can begin to live the life you've dreamed of, but maybe started to believe it wasn't possible. It is possible. I'm telling you what I know. And I'm just, again, so grateful that you're here. Click on the button below. Join us on this adventure. Invite a friend or family member and watch how magnificently your life begins to shift and change over the next couple of months and continues to over the rest of the year. And again, it's just such my honor and pleasure to be on this journey with you. You will be in my heart and my prayers forever. We are quantumly entangled forever. And until next time, live authentically, love unconditionally, and follow your destiny. Take care.